Hello everyone, this is Selena. Welcome back to one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selena and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm bringing to you this gorgeous cardigan. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love how it's turned out. It's really easy to crochet and it does come in sizes S to XXXL. So the free written pattern will be, as always, on my blog. The link will be in the description box. And on that free pattern on my blog, you will be able to look at all the different sizes. So this is a really easy project. I love the vibes of it. I had been wanting to make one of those cardigans for so long. It's a simple cropped cardigan. So this is the cropped version. However, you can make it as long as you wish. If you just add rows to the front and the back panel, this will be indicated on my pattern. However, I did it cropped. And yes, it features beautiful puff flowers. So obviously I will be walking you through the tutorial on how to make the entire cardigan. I really love it. So once the cardigan is crocheted and once you've made all your flowers, you will be stitching them on to the cardigan. Again, all the photographs and details and measurements and everything are on my blog, so check that out. So for this project, I used the yarn paint box Simply Chunky yarns, and I used two colors. I used shade Duck Egg, I think blue, and shade Champagne White. Again, this will be detailed in the down bar, so don't forget to check that out. I used, I think, about 6 skeins for size S of the Duck Blue yarn. So I used a 6mm crochet hook for this project, for both the flowers and for the cardigan. I also used a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors, and that is all. It's really beginner friendly, so don't be afraid. It's really easy to crochet, and I do hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for a new tutorial every week, and I will be talking in US terms. So I'm gonna jump right into the tutorial in one moment, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm doing a giveaway to celebrate my 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you can participate in the giveaway. There is a specific video for it because I'm not gonna go into the details for this video because I just want to focus on the project, but the link is in the description box, so don't forget to check that video out. Obviously it's on my channel. Okay, so I'm going to begin this tutorial by showing you the different parts of the cardigan that we are going to be making. So this will be the back, so I'll be showing you first how to crochet the back of the cardigan, and then I'll show you how to crochet the 2 front panels, like so, and then I'll show you how to crochet both sleeves. So these are my 2 sleeves, and obviously I will take you through this step by step. So these are just repeats of half double crochets all the way through, so it will be a pretty straightforward tutorial for this part. So to begin this tutorial, like I said, I'm going to show you the back of the cardigan first, and then I will be showing you the front and the sleeves. So I will be demonstrating size S, and for all the different other sizes, just check out my blog linked in the description box. But the principle will be the same as what I'm going to demonstrate here. You will probably just need to chain more and add rows for this part. Okay, so to begin this tutorial, make a slip knot. So just go ahead and create a slip knot, pop your hook through like so, and now we will be chaining 56. So 1, 2, 3, 4, So I've crocheted a smaller chain, so I will be making a sample, but the principle is the exact same. So you should have 56 chains. And now the next step will be to place a half double crochet into the third chain from the hook. So just count 1, 2, and 3 and go into the third chain with a half double crochet. So just wrap your yarn around your hook, go into the third chain, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through all 3 loops. And the chain 2 at the beginning is a half double crochet. So now we are going to be going into the next chain and place another half double crochet into that. And then go into the next chain and place a half double crochet into that. And into the next chain, and just go ahead and place half double crochets into each chain across until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you what to do for row 2. So this is the first row of half double crochets. So now for row 2 we will be chaining 2, 1 and 2. Turn your work, and this counts as your first half double crochet with this first stitch here. So you are going to be going directly into the second stitch with a half double crochet. So just go ahead and place a half double crochet into that. Then you are going to go into the next stitch and place a half double crochet into that. And then into the next stitch and place a half double crochet into that. And just go ahead and place a half double crochet into each and every stitch until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so I've almost finished this row, but I do have a stitch to place. So this is the chain 2 from the previous row, and this counts as a half double crochet. So we will be placing a half double crochet into this chain 2 like so. So just go ahead and place a half double crochet into that. Now, and this project will straighten out as we go along, so don't worry. So now that we've finished row 2, we are going to be doing row 3. And row 3 and all rows from this point on will be a repeat of row 2. So very easy. So chain 2, 1 and 2, turn your work, and this counts as your first half double crochet, which goes with this first stitch. Now you will be going into the second stitch here and placing a half double crochet into that, and then go into the next stitch and place a half double crochet into that, and just go ahead and place a half double crochet into each and every stitch across until you reach the end of this row, where you will be placing one last half double crochet into the last stitch, which is a chain 2 from the previous row. So don't forget that chain 2 at the end of each row. And if you need, if you are a bit confused, just go ahead and count your stitches and make sure from row to row that you always have the same amount of stitches, if that can help you. So just go ahead and repeat row 2 until, for the back, until you have 37 rows in total. So just go ahead and repeat row 2 until you have 37 rows in total, and then I'll get back to show you the rest of this project. So I've just realized that I had not showed you how to fasten off. So once you reach the 37th row, you will be fastening off. So this is a demonstration of what you will do. So let's imagine that you finished your 37 rows. You are going to snip off your yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing. And just take your yarn and pull it through this loop and tighten, and that creates the knot that you want to fasten off your panels. So there you go. This is a process that you will be doing. I hope that is a clear demonstration. So I'm just going to go ahead and explain how to crochet the rest of this project. So it's very easy. So for the front panels, you will be making 2 front panels for this project, obviously. For the 2 front panels, you will be chaining 29 and repeating this exact same process that I've just showed you. So just repeat this process that I've just showed you of row after row of half double crochets, except that at the beginning of each panel, you will be chaining 29. And just go ahead and repeat these half double crochet rows until you have 37 rows also. So to recap, chain 56 for the back, 37 rows. For the 2 front panels, chain 29, and also you will need 37 rows. And then for the sleeves, so obviously you will be making 2 sleeves, you will be chaining 48, and you will be repeating this exact same process that I've just showed you for 27 rows, obviously for each sleeve. So just go ahead and do this, create all the parts of your cardigan. If you need more help, just consult my blog and the free pattern that is on this blog. And yeah, just go ahead and consult the blog, and also rewind the video if you need to. And now I'll just proceed and show you how to create the rest of this cardigan. I'm just going to show you how to crochet your flowers. So to make these flowers, I will be using my 6mm crochet hook, and I will be using chunky yarn. I will be using Paint Box Simply Chunky, and 2 colors. This is, I think, color Duck Egg, and then my other color will be this cream yarn. I will be linking in the down bar all the yarn that I used, so don't worry. So to make this flower, create a slip knot, and we are using the blue color to begin with. Pop your hook through and tighten, and now you will be chaining 4. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once you've chained 4, just go ahead and slip stitch through that first chain like so, and now you have a circle into which you will be crocheting. And now you are going to be placing 5 single crochets inside this center. So just go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 single crochets, and this is equivalent to 5 petals. So now we will be slip stitching through the first single crochet that we made. So just slip stitch through this, and you will be fastening off, because obviously we are using the cream yarn. We are using the cream yarn for the petals, so just take your yarn and pull it through like that. And we are going to be attaching the cream yarn, so just go ahead and attach your cream yarn. I'm just going to attach it to that same single crochet, like so. Now that you've done that, pop your hook through and pull up a loop and chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is the beginning of our first petal. Now you are going to be wrapping your yarn around your hook and going through that first stitch. So just pop your hook through, pull up a loop like you would for a double crochet, but you are going to be pulling your yarn up quite high. I will be writing down on my blog the length of this, because I can't remember at the top of my head. It's probably about 3 centimeters, but I will be writing that down on my blog, so check it out. Now that you've done that, you are going to take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and that's it. Now you are going to wrap your yarn around your hook once again and go through this stitch again. Pull up your yarn, take your yarn, pull through 2 loops. Now you are going to wrap your yarn around your hook and pop it through and pull up your yarn once again. This is the 3rd time. Take your yarn and pull through 2 loops. Take your yarn and go in for the 4th time. Pull up your yarn, go through 2 loops, and do this one last time, so 5 times in total. Pull up your yarn, take your yarn, pull through 2 loops, and now to finish off this petal, take your yarn and pull through all 3 loops like so. Now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Gonna slip stitch through that 2nd single crochet like so. So now you are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you are going to be repeating the process that I've just showed you. So wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that same stitch, pull your yarn up, go through 2 loops, take your yarn, go through that same stitch, pull it up, go through 2 loops. So take your yarn and do this for the 3rd time. Go through 2 loops, take your yarn, pull up a loop, go like this. And then for the 5th and last time, do the same thing. Go through 2 loops, and now go through all loops like this. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and go and slip stitch through that next single crochet to finish off this petal. And just do this for the next 3 petals. You should have 5 in total, and I'll show you how to finish off this flower in a second. Okay, so I've almost finished this petal. I finished all 5 of my petals. I've practically finished this last one. I've got my 3 chains here, and to finish off this petal, I will be going through that stitch, which is the 1st single crochet, and slip stitching. So just go ahead and slip stitch. So that's actually under your 1st petal. Now snip off your yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing in this flower, and create a knot, pull, and obviously tidy up your loose ends. So you can either do this whilst you are making your flower or separately. And now you are going to pull on the center of this flower just to close it off, and you can snip off your yarn now or later. And this creates your flower. So I absolutely adore it. Okay, so we have all the parts of our cardigan. I've popped all my flowers to the side, and I'm going to assemble the cardigan now and show you how to do that. So to begin with, we are going to be sewing our sleeves. So obviously we have 2 sleeves, and we want to fold them. So I'm just going to demonstrate with one to begin with. So this is the sleeve, and it will be folded this way. So this is the length of my sleeve, and after this we will be, after we've sewed the whole project together, we will be adding cuffs. So this is how we are going to be folding our cardigan for now, and we are going to start stitching it. So just pop your needle through the sleeve, and I'm just going to zoom in a teeny bit just to show you. I am going to sew this seam in using the mattress stitch. So the mattress stitch is just this stitch where you go in and out of each side of the project. Just it gives a seamless type of stitch. However, you can use whichever stitch you prefer. I'm just going to use this one. So just go ahead and stitch in your sleeve until you reach the bottom of the sleeve, and then obviously create a knot, fasten off and tidy up all your loose ends, and do this on both sleeves. So now that you've sewed both your sleeves, just pop them to the side, and now we are going to start assembling the cardigan. So this is what I have. Check out my blog if you need more pictures. So this is the back. So here is the back panel that we did, and I've popped both front panels on top of this back panel. So I've popped my project like this, and I am going to sew the front and the back panel together to each other, if that makes sense. And so in order to do this, just symmetrically place your front panels on top of the back panel, and we are going to be sewing straight across. So this from this side straight across to the other side, and this will be the front opening, and then I'll show you what to do next. So it's really easy. Just place all the two front panels on top of the back panel and start sewing. Again, I will be using the mattress stitch. You can use whichever stitch you prefer. So just go ahead and sew this part together, and then I'll show you how to finish off the sewing. Okay, so I finished sewing the top part here straight across, and you can see the opening is here. And so now we are going to stitch the sleeves onto the cardigan, and that's really easy. So you are going to be taking your first sleeve, and place the seam facing down, of course, and I always choose to put the side of the chains, so this is the beginning of our chain, and when we made the sleeve, on the outside, because I think it's tighter rather than the row side. So this is where we finished before we sewed, is more supple. So I always tend to put the chain side on the outside, but that's just personal. So that's what I've done, and now I'm gonna start sewing in my sleeve. So to sew in my sleeve, I'm gonna attach my yarn because I didn't have a loose end to use. So I'm just gonna attach my yarn like so, create a double knot, and once again I will be using the mattress stitch, and once I've placed my sleeve the way I want it, I'm just going to start sewing this side in using the mattress stitch. So there we go, and my technique is that I will be sewing the front of the cardigan like this straight through, so I'm not going to go round the entire sleeve to sew the sleeve on. I'm going to sew the sleeve on to the front of the cardigan, and then when I reach this part, the bottom of the sleeve, I'm just going to continue sewing this part together. So I will be sewing this part together, fastening off, and then at the very end I turn my work and I sew the back of the sleeve to the back panel. So I hope that makes sense, but I just think that gives it a better look. I just think it looks a lot prettier, a lot neater to do that. So that's just my technique. So I'm just gonna sew this in, so this front of the sleeve to the front part of the cardigan, and then I'm just gonna sew this together and then fasten off. And I'll show you how I flip my project around and then sew the back of the sleeve in. Okay, so I've sewed this in, so this part, and then up to the bottom I've sewed my my yarn in too. And so now I'm flipping this over, and I'm just gonna sew the back of this sleeve, sorry. So I'm just going to attach my yarn and sew it the back to the back, so the back part of the sleeve to the back part of the cardigan, and then I'm just going to fasten off, and I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side, and then I'll show you how to do the trimming and edgings of the cardigan before sewing on your flowers. Okay, so I'm back and I've sewed in my cardigan, my sleeves, and I'm really happy with what it looks like. So now I'm just going to be doing the front and bottom edging. So for that, I've tied my yarn to any stitch. You can use any stitch. We are going to be chaining one and then going into each stitch across, or in this case, because this is the wrong side of the stitches, so this is the row side, just place single crochets at equal intervals as best you can. And so just go ahead, I'm just going to zoom in because we're quite far away. So just place single crochets all across the front edge like so. And as you can see, I don't have specific stitches into which I'm crocheting, but nonetheless just place them as equally as possible. And I'm gonna de-zoom now and just place them up to here, and then you're gonna go down on the other side, and you are going to go around the bottom like this, and we are going to arrive at the place where we started. And once that happens, I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so I'm back and I've finished going round the cardigan. I'm just going to slip stitch to the first chain one that we did, and I am going to fasten off and then tidy up this loose end. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to show you how to do your sleeve edging. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit. I've tied my yarn to the project. I'm going to pop my hook through. I've popped my hook through and I'm going to chain one. I am just going to switch this side because it might be easier to understand like this. So I'm going to tie in my loose end as I go, and I'm going to pop, so this is my chain one, go into the next stitch and single crochet, go into the next stitch and single crochet, and then skip one stitch, go into the next and single crochet into the next, skip one stitch, single crochet into the next, and single crochet into the next, and then skip one stitch and go into the next, and just carry this on. So 2 single crochets, skip 1 stitch, etc., until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you what to do next. And I'll show you how to finish off this row first. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in. So I finished this row, and I am going to slip stitch to that first chain one that we did like this, and we finished row 1. Okay, so now for row 2 we are simply going to be chaining 3. So 1, 2 and 3. I'm just going to zoom in and show you this sleeve. So there we go, and then this counts as our first double crochet and goes with this stitch here. We are going to go into the next stitch and place a double crochet into that, and go into the next stitch and place a double crochet into that, and into the next stitch and place a double crochet into that, and into the next stitch, and just carry on placing double crochets until you reach the end of this row where you will be slip stitching, and I'll show you what to do. So just carry on this row until you reach the end of this row, and I'll show you what to do to finish off this row and then do the next row. Okay, so I've reached the end of this row, and now I'm just going to slip stitch to the chain 3 at the beginning of this row, and now we are going to be doing a second row of double crochet. So just go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this 3 chain counts as our first double crochet. So we are going to be going into the next double crochet and place a double crochet into that, and just carry on placing a double crochet into each and every stitch until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row and how to finish off this sleeve cuff. Okay, so I'm back, and to finish off this row, so this is the second row of double crochets and obviously the third row of this sleeve cuff, because we had one row of single crochets, double crochets and double crochets. So to finish off this row, we will be chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and that counts as our first double crochet. And we are going to be going into all the, just repeat the row that we've just done. Place double crochets all the way around, and once you reach the end of the row, just slip stitch and fasten off, and repeat this process on the other sleeve. So yes, so just go ahead and do that, finish off this row, slip stitch and fasten off, and then repeat the exact same pattern, which is 1 row of single crochets and 3 rows of double crochets, and fasten off, and then I'll show you how to finish off this cardigan. Hi, so I'm back, and I've already sewed on most of my flowers. I will be demonstrating for this video how to sew the flowers onto the project, but to begin with, I'm just going to show you the flowers that I've sewed onto the project. So for the full details of each flower that I've sewed on, just go to my blog selinaveronique.com. I will be putting pictures up on my blog post about exactly where I've placed my flowers. So I have placed 6 at the front here, and this is the opening of the cardigan. I really love how it looks. I absolutely adore it. And I've placed 3 flowers onto the sleeve. So each sleeve. So again, I will be posting photos on my blog if you want to place them exactly where I've placed them. And then on the back, I've placed 4 in each corner, and I will be placing one in the center, and this is what I am going to show you. So I have sewed in each flower, and this is what it looks like on the inside of the cardigan. However, it's quite discreet considering the size of each flower. I do believe that it's quite a nice yet discreet kind of stitching. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you how to sew on these flowers. So each flower has been sewed on exactly the same way, so I will just now jump right into the tutorial. Also wanted to say that I have in fact used 17 flowers for this project. So I've used 17 flowers in total. So what you are going to be doing for sewing this flower in, I unfortunately for this flower didn't have a loose end to long enough to sew it in, so I have placed my yarn into the flower like so. So either you can use your loose ends, or you can just place the yarn like that. So you are going to be placing your flower exactly where you want it. I've placed it at the center of the back of the cardigan. I will be popping this gently through, and I'm just going to try and zoom in, maybe because it will be easier to see. And I'm just going to sew the center in. So by center I mean this like blue kind of center, I'm going to go around it a few times. So yeah, placing stitches to secure the center of the flower, and then I am going to go over most petals just because I like to have a neat look for my projects. I don't like to have yeah, an unneat look for that type of project. I hope this makes sense. So I've sewed in the flower. This is what it looks like on the other side. So again, very discreet. And now I'm just going to go into one end of one petal, like this, delicately, of course. I'm going to go into, you know, the other side of that same petal and sew it in like this. I'm going to go into the next petal, excuse me, and sew that in. So just go ahead and do that for each petal, and I'll meet you back to show you how to finish off the stitching. Okay, so I finished sewing this flower in, and so I'm just going to show you how to fasten off this yarn. This is what I have, because obviously I have two loose ends. I am going to tie these together. If you have used your loose end from the flower, if that makes sense, you would only have one loose end, so you wouldn't tie it together like this, but you would create a knot. So I'll just show you how you would do that. If you only have one loose end, just create a knot and then maybe create a second knot just to make sure that it's secure. And I'm just going to do that, create a few knots here, and yeah, so once you've done that, you are just going to, and once you're sure that it's nice and secure, I'm just going to snip off the yarn like this. And this is how I have this cardigan. So I'm really excited about how it looks. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely adore it. Obviously, like I said in the introduction, if you want to make it longer, all you need to do is add rows until you are set to the front and back panels, until you are satisfied with the length. I love the cropped look of this cardigan, because I think it just suits that kind of vibe, but then it is flexible. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for a new tutorial every week, and don't forget to let me know in the comments what tutorial you would like to see next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.